Yeah, the reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
All right, Angel, if that's still how you feel, you probably won't enjoy this video. Chicago has officially embraced Caitlin Clark. The Chicago Sky recently confirmed that their home games against Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever will now take place at the United Center.
For the first time in history, WNBA games will be played in the United Center. The Chicago Sky will host the Indiana Fever at the UC.
Yeah, the home of the Sky, now with twice the seating capacity of their usual venue, Wintrust Arena. From a business perspective, this move makes complete sense. However, it directly contradicts what Angel said in that viral interview and reinforces what's become increasingly clear. WNBA ratings and viewership are soaring, largely due to one player. This isn't the first time teams have upgraded their venues for Caitlin Clark. And when you consider the Fever sold out 15,000 seats for a preseason game against relatively unknown players, the argument that people aren't just here to watch, one player starts to lose credibility. It's becoming a weak stance. Stick around as we break it all down. If you're not a fan of Caitlin Clark, you might want to grab some aloe and tissues. This one might not sit well with you. But first, like this video if you think Caitlin will sell out the United Center, and subscribe to push back against the haters. Let's take a step back. Before Caitlin Clark entered the WNBA, attendance numbers weren't exactly making headlines. Then 2024 arrived, and everything changed. Fever games, both home and away, started selling out. Even before Caitlin played her first professional game, teams like the Atlanta Dream and Washington Mystics were already securing larger venues. Now, the Chicago Sky is following suit. Coincidence? Hardly. This is the Caitlin Clark effect in full force. But sure, let's pretend this isn't about her. Let's act as though the WNBA was regularly selling out arenas before Caitlin arrived. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. The skeptics can deny it all they want, but the decision to move games to the United Center, that's pure Caitlin Clark influence at work. Before Caitlin, the WNBA was moving along steadily, but wasn't exactly drawing massive crowds. In 2023, the league averaged around 6,600 fans per game, a respectable number, but nowhere near the NBA's 18,000 plus per game. WNBA games had a more intimate, coffee shop-like atmosphere, cozy with pricey concessions and plenty of fans scrolling on their phones. Then came 2024, and Caitlin Clark, the former Iowa sharpshooter and undeniable crowd magnet, joined the Indiana Fever. Suddenly, everything shifted. Fever home games became the most in-demand tickets around. Take their home opener against the Liberty. Over 17,000 fans packed Gainbridge Fieldhouse, the largest Fever crowd in years. That wasn't just a game, it was an event. And it wasn't an isolated case. Fever home games kept selling out, turning Indianapolis into the heart of the WNBA's new wave of popularity. But here's where it gets even crazier. The Caitlin Clark effect wasn't limited to Indiana. When the Fever hit the road, opposing teams saw their arenas transform from quiet venues to packed, high-energy atmospheres. The Atlanta Dream moved their matchup against the Fever to State Farm Arena, home of the Hawks, just because Caitlin was coming to town. The Washington Mystics followed suit, shifting their game to Capital One Arena, where the Wizards play. And the wildest part? These decisions were made before Caitlin even played her first professional game. That's like booking Madison Square Garden for a debut artist before they've even released a single track. Unheard of. And this is only the beginning. The WNBA secured a historic $2 billion media rights deal in 2024. That's billion with a B. It's a significant leap from previous agreements, and the reason is clear. Broadcasters and sponsors recognize the Caitlin Clark effect from a mile away. Even WNBA Commissioner Kathy Engelbert acknowledged it, stating that Caitlin has brought an unprecedented level of excitement to the league, which is reflected in both attendance and viewership. She's not wrong. Clark has become the catalyst that turned the WNBA from a niche market into a mainstream spectacle. So, to sum it up, before Caitlin, the WNBA was steady but underwhelming. After Caitlin, it's a full-blown phenomenon. Sold-out games, larger arenas, and a massive new TV deal. Anyone claiming this isn't about Caitlin Clark is either in denial or just ignoring the numbers. Teams are scrambling to relocate her games to bigger venues, and the Chicago Sky is the latest to follow suit, shifting their Fever matchups to the United Center, which holds twice as many fans as Wintrust Arena. But here's the catch. This is Angel Reese's team. She's been vocal about her impact on the game and insists it's not just about one player. Yet, the reality is hard to ignore. If it's not just about Caitlin, why aren't all Sky Games being played at the United Center? Why only hers? Some might argue that Indiana's proximity to Illinois makes it easier for Fever fans to travel. But then how do you explain Washington, D.C. and Atlanta making the same move? Angel isn't alone in this line of thinking. Sheila Johnson, co-founder of BET and owner of the Mystics, echoed a similar sentiment, saying the league is full of talented players who deserve recognition. And that's true. The WNBA has no shortage of stars. Yet, when Caitlin comes to town, teams have no problem upgrading their arenas to accommodate 5 times the usual crowd. Interesting how that works. The Atlanta Dream did the same thing, moving their Fever matchup to State Farm Arena. At the core of all this, the league is struggling with a mix of denial and envy. Caitlin has only played 1 season, yet she's the driving force behind skyrocketing ratings, packed arenas, and media attention. But some players and executives can't bring themselves to acknowledge it. Why? Because admitting it means accepting that she's drawing more attention than veterans who've been in the league for years. It's a tough reality to swallow, but the numbers speak for themselves. Take the Sky's decision: 20,000 seats for Caitlin, not for the full season, just for her games. That's not a coincidence. That's Caitlin Clark proving her influence. Whether the league wants to admit it or not, this isn't just petty drama. It's a growing pain for the WNBA. The league has long craved mainstream attention, and now that it has it, jealousy threatens to overshadow progress. Angel, Sheila, Cheryl Swoops, and others aren't wrong about the league's depth of talent, but downplaying Caitlin's impact, or worse, attributing it solely to race is a bad look. Instead of resisting, maybe it's time to embrace the momentum and enjoy the success that benefits every WNBA player. Now, let's break it down. Teams like the Chicago Sky are moving Caitlin's games to larger venues, 20,000-seat arenas, double their usual capacity, but not for other stars. Only when Caitlin's Fever come to town. That says everything, even if they won't say it outright. The reality is clear, it's all about Caitlin. And here's the kicker, it's okay to admit it. In fact, it's the smartest move they can make. This isn't something to be kept under wraps. Caitlin's popularity is a golden opportunity for the WNBA. For years, the league has been searching for mainstream recognition, and now it's here, delivered by a 23-year-old sharpshooter with game-changing talent. So why fight it? The Sky could turn these United Center games into true events, special promos, halftime shows, and maybe even some Caitlin versus Angel rivalry moments to build even more excitement. That's how you attract new fans and keep them engaged. And players can capitalize too. Angel Reese is already a star. Big personality, major endorsements. Imagine her dropping a dominant performance on Caitlin's team and seizing the spotlight. That's how you turn these moments into legacy-building opportunities. This isn't about Caitlin taking all the attention, it's about making space for everyone. The choice is simple: deny Caitlin's influence and stay bitter, or ride the wave and help the game grow. Teams are already making moves. Why not? Just own it, say her name, hype up the matchups, and let the momentum spread. This isn't a zero-sum game, it's a win-win. The league is buzzing, fans are engaged, and the future looks brighter than ever. So the real question is, will the doubters let go of their grudges and embrace the moment, or will they stay stuck in resentment? Because like it or not, the shift is happening, and it's bringing an outpouring of attention to the WNBA. And while some continue clinging to their back-in-my-day arguments, major figures in the game are recognizing reality. Legends are speaking, and one of the biggest voices? Lisa Leslie, a WNBA icon, someone who set the standard for greatness. She's not just acknowledging Caitlin's impact, she's passing the torch.
Official that Caitlin Clark is a game changer. She's changed the game with her ability to shoot the ball, her unlimited range, but also her impact, how she's impacting other young girls in basketball.
That's not just a compliment, it's a legend passing the torch. Then there's Coach K, Duke's renowned basketball mastermind, who described Caitlin as the most electrifying player in the game today.
Be one of the leaders to help millions of young girls realize their dreams, not just in sport.
Caitlin Clark's teammates? They're all locked in. Sophie Cunningham, a new addition to the Fever and a self-proclaimed Caitlin superfan, couldn't be more excited. "I'll be her Sabrina Carpenter any day to her Taylor Swift," she said. Then there's Natasha Howard, who literally switched teams just to play alongside Clark. "She's an amazing passer, so I can't wait to run the floor and get those assists," she shared. And let's not forget DeWanna Bonner, a veteran who's seen it all. "I couldn't be more excited to step on the floor with Caitlin," she said. This isn't just team spirit, it's a squad fully embracing the Caitlin effect and what it means for the game. Caitlin Clark isn't just stacking up stats, she's elevating the entire league. Rookie of the Year? Check. League leader in assists? Absolutely. And those deep range threes? They're already becoming legendary. But here's the bigger picture. As Caitlin keeps winning, her brand keeps growing. And that's not just a win for her, it's a major boost for the WNBA as a whole. More attention on Caitlin means more exposure for every player in the league. She's the spark that's pushing the WNBA into the mainstream, and it's paying off. Higher attendance, increased revenue, and a platform that finally gives all the league's talent a chance to shine. A rising tide lifts all boats, and Caitlin is making waves. Fast forward to 2025, and it's looking like last season was just the beginning. The WNBA All-Star Game is heading to Indianapolis, Caitlin's home turf. Meanwhile, the Fever have reloaded, adding standout players like Sophie Cunningham, Natasha Howard, and DeWanna Bonner. This isn't just a team, it's a powerhouse built to turn heads and sell tickets. Last season was electrifying, but 2025 could be the real breakthrough. And the league, it desperately needs this momentum. Teams are already adapting, quietly, acknowledging Caitlin's impact by shifting games to bigger venues. Take the United Center, 20,000 seats reserved for Caitlin-led matchups. That's not favoritism, that's smart business. While some critics are stuck playing checkers, the WNBA is making chess moves. And speaking of critics, what exactly is their issue? While teams are scaling up to meet demand, some detractors seem determined to resist change, as if they'd rather play to half-empty arenas than admit Caitlin is the catalyst the league has been waiting for. But teams see the potential. Bigger venues, larger crowds, increased revenue. The skeptics, on the other hand, are clinging to outdated mindsets, limiting the league's growth at the very moment it's poised to explode. Reality check? Sulking doesn't sell tickets. Some will catch on, especially when they see the financial benefits rolling in. Others, they'll stay stuck in their feelings, missing out while the momentum keeps building without them. But those who embrace the shift, they'll thrive when the WNBA is selling out arenas on a nightly basis. Not just for Caitlin, but for the entire league. Her influence isn't overshadowing anyone. It's amplifying everything. The choice is simple. Embrace the opportunity or get left behind. Let's wrap this up. The Caitlin Clark effect is undeniable. The Chicago Sky moving their Fever matchups to the United Center, 20,000 seats, double their usual capacity, is just the latest example. Attendance is soaring, teams are upgrading venues, and that $2 billion media deal, it's proof that the league is thriving. This isn't just a lucky streak, it's a complete shift, and it's only getting started. The WNBA stands at a crossroads. Lean into Caitlin's momentum, and its sold-out arenas, record-breaking ratings, and financial success for everyone. Fight it, and it's a missed opportunity. The Sky's decision makes it clear. Only Caitlin's games get the biggest stage. That's not bias, it's business, and it's working. New fans, major buzz, and more revenue. Why resist? The league has been chasing this level of mainstream attention for years, and Caitlin is delivering it. For Angel Reese and the Sky, no shade, but this is Caitlin's wave. Ride it. Turn those United Center nights into must-see events. Step up, drop buckets, embrace the spotlight, because the smart players, they don't fight the momentum, they use it to build their own legacy.